Hello everyone, how are you? How are you? Good evening. It is 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and we are here. This is episode number 48. I cannot believe it. Number 48. We are almost into a year. Excuse me. I'm so excited. I'm getting choked up. I have a big announcement to make. A big announcement to make. And I want to thank you all. So most of you know the show as Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. I started it, like I said, almost a year ago. And today I am making a big change. The show is now, drum roll please, we have changed the show to the TERRAN Lamp Show, a show where I interview people just like you, everyday people with amazing stories. So it is now the TERRAN Lamp Show, named after myself and my brand. Still the same concept. It will be a show, or it is a show, where I interview people just like you, everyday people with amazing stories. So welcome to episode number 48 of the TERRAN Lamp Show. So glad to have you. We are here every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you dial in or come in from the East Coast, 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm so excited for this new announcement. Like I said, the TERRAN Lamp Show, episode number 48. Thank you so much again for your support. If you have a story, and we know you do, please make sure you get in contact with me. I would love to have you on the show. If you know someone who has a story, and I know you do, please make sure you get in contact with me. Please make sure they get in contact with me. Hook it up. I'd love to have them on the show. We are booking guests for October of 2021. So again, the TERRAN Lamp Show is official. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, I'm going to get my guest in here now. That is the big announcement. And then thank you so much for the support on the TERRAN Lamp Show. Let's get my guest in here, Alex. Alex. Hello. Alex. Waiting for you to get. Alex.
Can you hear me?
I can, but it's really low.
Can you hear me now better?
Maybe. Let me see if I can turn. Oh, that's my hand. Let's see. Oh, it could be my volume. Try it now.
How's this?
Oh, yeah, that's
better.
It was my volume.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide the best place to put it so it's my head.
That's good, right there. That's good. So, welcome to the TERRAN Lamp Show.
Thanks for having me.
Yay! How are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on. You know I love you to pieces, so I really just thank you for your time, for coming on today and sharing your story. You have such a great story. I've always told you, you kind of remind me of me. So, you know, a few years.
Very big compliment.
a few years ago. A few years ago. So again, for those who are just joining, I'm going to get into Alex's story, but just so you know, the big announcement, we have changed, or I have changed the name of the show. This is now the TERRAN Lamp Show. So it's a show where I interview people just like you, everyday people with amazing stories. So the concept stays the same, just change the name kind of to more fit my brand. So the TERRAN Lamp Show, episode number 48 with Miss Alex. Alex, my cat, Max, is saying hello. He must, he's like, can you hear him?
Don't like me, so it could be that too.
Oh, he's loving you. Say hello. So, I'm like, he's going to come up here any minute. So, Alex, let's get started. Like I said, you, again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. In all seriousness, I know we joke around a lot, but I do appreciate your time, and thank you for coming on the show. So let's get started with your journey, Alex. Tell us a little bit about Alex and where you are and how you got there.
Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of just start where I am and then go back to, I think, how I got here. So So right now, me and Taryn, we know each other from work. So we met each other when I became an intern here while I was still in college, 2017, and we're still here. In the past 4 years, I've gone from intern to fitness specialist to kind of that in between. So like a manager on duty, so helping out with one day, and then now here I am, just a few years later, as one of the managers at LCF here. So it's just kind of crazy, that journey that we've hit here. So kind of how I feel like I've got there, is I have a very, very strong background in involvement in the Girl Scouts. So I know, like on your pre-post to this, you did mention that I am a fourth generation. So that goes back to my great grandma, my grandma, my mom, and then me. And I know for sure my grandma, me, and then my mom are all lifetime members. So very long time. I've been involved in Girl Scouts since 2001, so it's been like 20 years now. So it's kind of hard for everything in my life to not have some component that I tie to being a Girl Scout. So it kind of started where when my mom took over as our troop leader, she always made sure that we knew that it was a girl run troop. So she was always like, what do you girls want to get out of this? What do you how do you want this to help you? So we always did, like, we did the crafts, but we also did like, I've traveled internationally. I've traveled around the city. We went spelunking in a cave. So it's just kind of like the gamut there. And then we've also worked on the badges. We did, our troop did our Bronze Award, which is the highest award for younger girls and Girl Scouts. So there's 3 awards. So we have the Bronze, Silver, and the Gold Girl Scout Award here, which the Gold is the Girl Scout equivalent to the Eagle. Okay. And I have all 3 of those. So it helped me frame kind of who I am, has helped me find my voice, because 3 big things are courage, confidence, and character. Courage, confidence, and character, very big components of the Girl Scouts, and it definitely has stuck with me with everything. So as you know, Taryn, I'm not one of those people that is afraid to use my voice, and this is definitely one of those things that kind of made me continue to feel that, like, that is okay. I was never really one of those kids that was quiet, ever. So this just made sure that I knew that I never really felt that it was bad. It was a bad thing. I was using my voice, saying my opinion, because obviously I love the sound of my own voice, and I think I do. And that was just an avenue to make me continue to feel that it was okay to voice my opinions. I've done so many things, and I definitely attribute a lot of kind of that drive and that confidence that I have from being in the Girl Scouts, and just having those super strong female role models that pushed me through my life to be me. One of the main things that I always say, that I learned from my grandma, is that it's be unapologetically you. My grandma was one of those ladies.
I love it.
She was always going to tell you how she felt, even if you didn't want to hear it. And she was loud and proud of it. So that was kind of one of the main things. And I always tell people, she was one of those ladies where kind of when she got older, she was, it was, I'm going to say what I want, and you can listen to me or not, but I'm still going to say it. So it was be unapologetically you. And that is kind of where my life has continued to take me.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's, I like I said, I'm just impressed with all you, I've always told you this, I'm impressed with all you've done. I think you have courage. I think you have confidence, and I think you have character. So those things, that you learned in the Girl Scouts and from your family and from generations that were passed down to you, you definitely exhibit them.
I try.
You really do. I mean, I think it takes a lot of courage to be a voice, right? And I think that when you think about how young and wise, so you're both of those things, right? Young and wise. And that takes a lot of courage to have a voice at a young age, right? And I know that I can speak for myself, but like I said, when I know that you've probably had instances where you've been that voice for people who haven't had a voice, or you've had to speak up when maybe it wasn't the most popular thing to do. And I think that, that is so cool. It's so amazing. It's so great that you have that structure of your family and the Girl Scouts to kind of lead you in. I don't know if it's lead or mold you into that, having that voice for others, because there are people out there that appreciate that voice, but there's also people out there who don't find it until later. And so I think it's super cool that you found it, growing up, right, in the Girl Scouts, right, with your grandmother, and you
Yeah.
remember probably times where she just spoke her mind, and
always. And
yeah,
that I was a mini me of her, that I look like her, I act like her. So they were like, oh, good, we got a junior over here.
like we got another one. We got another. And even traveling, you're a world traveler,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes confidence, and that takes character, and that takes courage, right? And so you and I trade back and forth traveling stories, but again, to be able to, like I said, advocate for others, to have that courage for yourself, and how you've kind of moved your career around, it takes a lot. And especially in today's world, when today's world is kind of sometimes telling us to not have a voice of our own,
Yeah.
it's kind of saying, don't have that voice, or maybe quiet that voice, and so you've done a great job of navigating yourself professionally and personally by having courage, character, and confidence, so yes, I want to say that. So
Thank you.
let me ask you, what advice would you give someone along this journey? I mean, again, I'm speaking to you as, someone who's young and wise, and there's someone out there that's young and wise, or someone out there that's older and wise,
Uh-huh.
or, and they're wondering, like, how can I get these things, or how, because you still have to do it, right? Like, you have the confidence, you have courage, but then you have these things, but then you got to take action. So how did you, what advice would you give someone who's kind of in that,
Yeah.
take
So that's
action?
still that, like, the main point is just be unapologetically you. And
Mm-hmm.
like, not everyone is always gonna like you or what you say, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, as long as you stay true to you and what you believe, that's definitely super important. I mean, there's obviously times when maybe what you're like, how you think of something, you still need to grow. So
Mm.
one of the things that I learned in college is that you're not always going to be the smartest person in the room, and that's okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
Because um, you're never going to know every single answer, but someone else around you might know that. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to feed off those. So, like, no, Joe, who's my boss here, he a big thing that he always says is know your strength and know your team's strength. So,
Mm-hmm.
or just know the strengths of those around you. So surrounding yourself with people who know different things than you, or who can help you become a better you in areas that you're not quite great at.
Uh-huh.
You don't always have to be that person for everything for everybody. Sometimes
Mm.
you just won't. You just won't know.
Someone's so loving that. I see some heart.
So
Jonathan.
surround yourself with people who can help you. So if you're not the most outspoken person, but you have really great ideas, be the idea person and have someone else be like the face. Because sometimes people really like to talk and sometimes people really don't like to talk. So like
Mm.
one really big example there is, just kind of know and continue to grow yourself. So if there's any chance you have to like continue to grow yourself as a person professionally, um, just to like learn more about yourself so that you can then go and then just, be better for you, be better for your job, be better for the world.
Mm-hmm.
As it can help everything. So that is kind of one of those big things that, like, it's a hard lesson to learn, that you're not always going to be like the best at everything or the smartest or the fastest, but it's something that I feel like the sooner you learn it and like accept that,
Mm-hmm.
everything is going to go. So it's just, that was definitely a hard thing, but definitely probably one of the biggest things.
I don't know if you can see who's on. Laura. Do you remember Laura?
Hi.
She's like, go, Alex, be better for the world. Yeah, I think that's good. You're not always going to be the strongest, fastest,
Yeah.
And I think it's a good example too, like you said about, if you're, I think you said the talking versus the idea person. If you're not the talker, but you look more like the ideas, then be the idea person and be unapologetically the idea person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's going to have their strengths and everyone's going to have their weaknesses.
And be cool with that. And then, always continue to work to improve,
Mm-hmm.
but also being authentically, like you said, unapologetically you
Mm-hmm.
is important too. And I think as females, sometimes that we worry about that, right? Like what is the world or whomever going to look when we're trying to be unapologetically us, and we constantly are saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Literally, we're apologizing,
Yeah.
for being us. And I think that's I'm going to take that advice from your grandma too, amongst probably the other things I probably took from her from you and I didn't know it. I'm going to take that and continue to carry that on. So what are some of the things with, I know with the Girl Scouts and probably with your own life. So what are some of the things, or I should say with the Girl Scouts and with your own life, like they're two different things. They're the same thing.
Yeah.
So let me say that.
That's my favorite life. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the things you do, to build community and to bring our communities together? I know some of the things that you do, but share with people some of the things that you do. Wow, Alex is crushing it. Knew she would be a boss and crushing it someday. I know.
Laura.
Right?
Thank you. So I guess kind of like pre-COVID was a little bit more, because like right now no one's really doing much because we're all afraid to be outside and be close to each other. But thankfully that is hopefully soon coming to a little bit less of a craziness. So kind of like with the Girl Scouts, what a big thing is like, it's just like volunteering to do things. So my mom is also still really, really involved. Even after I graduated high school, went into college. I was still a little bit as well, but I went to school a little bit further away. So there was sometimes weekends I would come home and we would do like just volunteer at events. So see what, like we would help out at like cookie things. So like we went, and to help girls with their cookie booths, we would go and we were the secret shoppers.
Oh.
See how it was going to just to kind of see, to ask them questions, make sure everything was going okay, drum up some business. So we did that. And so like that was pretty cool. Just because like we still see those girls, and it's crazy for me to think that like that was me like a while ago. But I mean, I like, because like I said, I've been in it for 20 years and it's just insane.
Alex, you're only like 20.5 years old. So
I'm 20.
how young is the Girl Scouts? What are the ages?
So I started in first grade, so 2001. But you can start in kindergarten. So I started in
Okay.
Yeah, so I started in first grade and then continued through high school, and then something that we did for our troop is when we graduated, we got a lifetime membership.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a lifetime member of the Girl Scouts. So I still, like, if there is any opportunities, I'll go help or give my voice, or we do. There is I just saw Jen's comment. I don't
Jen Macias
personally, but
cookies. No, Jen Macias. You get no cookies. The rest of us, yes.
Yeah, right. Just
you got some. Yeah. You get cookies. I get no cookies too, actually, quietly. You got some loves earlier. Laura's saying my niece is a Girl Scout, and she was too. Such a great experience.
Yeah, it's great. I recommend it to everybody. Anybody and everybody who's a girl, obviously. You have to be out. But it's something that even if like I'm not specifically like helping out, that is something that I know that like that community is still there for me. So it's like because of how involved I was and how it's crazy to be so involved in something for so long, and then people just think like, okay, well, I guess you're too old for it now.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I go back and it's I've like little girls, younger girls see and they're like, you're still a Girl Scout, and they think it's really cool. So it's one of those things where even if you're not like actively doing like involved in a troop or something, like even if you help at one event, they're gonna see you and be like, well, I could be her too.
Right.
So that's a really cool thing, because I mean, like when you're younger, you don't think you're gonna be anyone's like, no one's gonna like look up to you or anything like that. But it's one of those things where you never know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
So you always kind of have to have like that, like you don't want to be like doing something sketchy. Because
I heard
someone's watching.
More is caught than taught, meaning they're watching you, you know, like you don't necessarily have to break out the pen and paper and teach people, but they're watching what you do and they're watching you as a mentor. And I'm just putting out there that they're going back and forth about the cookies. So now telling Jen that because you and I won't give her any cookies, that she'll hook her up with the cookies.
It's what you know. It's
It's you know, and look at that. There you go. Who cares about us? You know, I think that's super cool because, you know, like you said, you don't know who's watching. You don't know when these girls, you know, what these girls are going through. Mm-hmm. And when they see you you personally, I mean, they see you making a difference. You know, this is something that they look and they say, I can do this one day, right? And one of the things also that you mentioned was, you know, like what you're doing or being a Girl Scout, it's here, right? I mean, I don't know if you can see me. It's in your heart, you know.
it's in my throat.
Yeah, throat. It's in your heart, you know. And I think that comes out just in all you do. Like you don't have to be wearing the uniform or having the cookies or all those things that people think of, right? It's what you've learned with courage, confidence, and character that helps you build community that you're taking with you, right? Forever.
Yeah, it's great. So I follow like them on Facebook. So like and they like to talk about like just quotes from people, like famous women or famous Girl Scouts, about how like Girl Scouts has helped them, or amazing things that girls are doing, because the things that girls now are doing in Girl Scouts is so like, it's the same, but it's so different because of how different the world is that we live in. So there's definitely more like STEM and I don't know if anyone's ever seen like the show Lego Masters, where they just had it and they brought people who build with Legos and they put them in this show about building these crazy Legos things. And one of the finalists was actually, she was a woman. And so they did a STEM like building with her, and like it was super cool that they're bringing more of these things in, because they're evolving with the time. So it's not just like when people used to think Girl Scouts literally just sold cookies. Like there's badges that are based on like coding and IT and engineering, because that is so more prevalent. And they're trying to now start you at a young age for girls to not think that like this is just something that like boys do. And it's like, it's amazing for me to see this, because like when I was younger, I thought they were like trailblazing, and now it's like they're just continuing to grow. And so it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, Laura says I think when I was talking about it's in your heart or in your throat, however you want to. Laura said, I agree, your integrity shines through no matter what.
Thanks.
And again, Messia says she's just here for the girl talk and the cookies.
Always.
Always, right, exactly. Always. We love her. Yeah, I just think it's great. I think that, like I said, to be being able to share this journey with so many young women, and you have so much more to share and so much more to give. We all know that, but I think and I think, quite frankly, being fourth generation is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
something.
when I was like, is it third or fourth? I'm like, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is just like, I think you're, unless I know other people, I think you're probably the only one. Now, I know people who were in the Girl Scouts, and maybe their parents were in the Girl Scouts, but their parents, I think that's amazing. And so not only are you having that courage, confidence, and character, you were literally raised.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I was
with
definitely
that.
a lot of strong female role models, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that has definitely helped to to make me feel like, and like outside of just Girl Scouts, is to push me to know
Yeah.
that this isn't like I can do anything.
Yes.
I mean, I've like both of my parents and my whole family has always I come from a very, very supportive family. So everybody's always like, no one has ever told me that I couldn't do something.
Mm-hmm.
It was always like, go ahead and try. So just to having that support system and them telling me that I can do whatever I set my mind to is definitely a plus. And it's something that hopefully if I ever have kids, or if my brother has kids or anything, that I continue on, because I think having
Mm-hmm.
a support system, not even just strong females, but I mean having like that strong backbone of any family, in both your mom, dad, brother, grandparents, aunts, uncles, it definitely frames how I think how you go through life.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely, I feel like it's definitely framed you. We could talk on, and I'm sure Laura and Jen and everybody else, knows, like I said, you go to a beat of your own drum.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
Let me tell you something. When I met you, Kenny's outside. I don't know what he's doing, but making. But I told him. I said, you know what? I told him. I not just told you. I told him years ago that you remind me of myself. I said that probably within a week or two of meeting you.
Because
And
how
so
awesome you are, I'm definitely gonna take that as a compliment.
take the other as a compliment too, because I feel like that. Hey, I just wrote something for work the other day, and my quote was, "Being unique is our superpower."
Oh, I like that.
Being unique is is our superpower. We have to embrace our differences in order to advance humanity. And so I'm proud to say that I do that, because you can't change the world by being just like it.
Yeah, it's always the when people go like be you, don't be someone else, because
Mm-hmm.
someone is already them, but no one else is you. So it's that's not the quote, but it's something like that, and that kind of reminds me of that. Is like you can't be somebody else, because somebody else is already them.
Right? Somebody else is already taken, right?
Yeah.
So oh my goodness, we have 1 minute left.
Oh wow, that
I know. I told you. So what does the future hold for Alex?
that is a good question. Very, very good question. Living day by day. That's what that's what hopefully it's bright. And just keep on keeping on and pushing forward. I wish I had a better thing than that. Actually, most recent, I'm gonna be a future homeowner. There we go. That's what my future has. So
Wow.
we're gonna decide to be a real adult. So
you're adulting.
I'm adulting, and it's very scary. So that's about as far as we got so far.
No, I think that's great. That's a big future. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Well, I mean, you're getting a lot of comments down here. I hope you see them all. I don't, man, I scrolling. I think I got them. Laura's comment was a little funny. Do you see her last comment? I'm not
Yes, adulting.
out loud, Laura. Yes, adulting. And she says you're adulting way better than her.
I don't know about that.
I'm like, I know adulting is like, oh,
That's scary. Yeah,
it's
seems like it. But I'm jumping with 2 feet. Here we go.
I know, right? That's okay. You'll swim. You will swim. So somebody's hitting love. I can't tell who it is. I see the heart floating up there, but I can never actually see who that is. I think it was Laura. I think it was Laura. Okay, my dear. Well, I promised to keep you only a half an hour, and we are at 8:01. So I know it goes fast.
It definitely goes fast. Yeah.
I'm going to try to do, like I said, so for those, Alex, 2 more seconds. I'll keep you on here while I close out. For those who did not hear in the beginning, the big announcement right before Alex came on, we are now the TERRAN Lamp Show.
Woo woo!
Woo woo! A show where I interview people just like you, everyday people with amazing stories. So if you have a story, and I know you do, I would love to have you on the show. There went my ring light. I'd love to have you on the show. Make sure you get in contact with me. You can message me. Any way you can get in contact with me, feel free to get in contact with me. I would love to have you. Let me see if I can turn this thing back on. I would love to have you on the show. What's it meant to be? What's it meant to be? If you have any friends, I know, Jonathan, I know you told, I'm holding Jonathan to it. I see he said great interview, but I'm holding you to it. If you have any friends that would make great guests on the show, please make sure you put us together, connect us. I would love to have them on the TERRAN Lamp Show. We are almost at a year. And so some of the things the future holds with me, like I said, I made the big announcement today to change the name of the show just to connect and to be more in line with my brand. I am looking for sponsors for the show. I'm actually looking for potential ideas on, I've got some ideas on how I want to make this more philanthropic. So I'd like to hear from people on that end, sponsors. I'm talking with some branding people to see how I can continue to make the brand, the TERRAN Lamp brand, and of course, continue the show. So again, if you'd like to maybe sponsor the show, if you'd like maybe to donate to something, my big things I give back to are heart disease and cancer survivors. A lot of people might know that I'm a heart disease and cancer survivor. So I try to give things to that community, to give back during their time of need, particularly as they're going through a lot of treatment and things. So if you would like to kind of learn about sponsorship, I'm kind of just figuring that out myself, but I'd love to have sponsors for the show, maybe some things I can help guests with, or like I said, be more philanthropic with regards to heart disease and cancer survivors. If you have any ideas on producing the show, I'm just taking all ideas. And like I said, also my YouTube channel. So make sure that you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to that. I'm going to start putting up more things. I'm going to put up the show. So I put up every episode of the show, and then I'm going to start putting up more kind of motivational type things with regards to, again, the TERRAN Lamp and the TERRAN Lamp brand. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my IGTV because it has all the episodes on it as well. Is there anything else I want to say? It's 4 minutes in, 4 minutes over. Alrighty. So I'd love to have you on the show. Make sure you get in contact with me. Alex, love you, girl. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you soon on the flip side.
See ya on the flip side.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.